Well, let's also tell you that about 48 hours after attacks that turned the usual joyous Christmas to a mourning period in some Plateau communities, security agencies say no stone will be left unturned in apprehending the perpetrators. Governor of Plateau State, Caleb Oftwang, also assured that the state will not be broken, even in the face of current security challenges in the state. Chizoba Anoniwe tells us more.
It is over 72 hours after many lives were reportedly lost in some communities in Bokos and Barikin-Ladi local government areas of Plateau State. The attacks carried out simultaneously across the communities were perpetrated by yet-to-be-identified assailants. Casualty figures 3 days after cannot still be confirmed as major state actors are yet to release official figures.
Let me say enough is enough. We cannot continue this senseless, stupid, unprovoked attacks. It is totally uncalled for and it is needless. We want to appeal to the conscience of the sponsors of these attacks that they do not stand to gain anything from this. But let me assure them that the spirits of the people of Plateau State will not be broken.
The deed may have been done by the fleeing miscreants, but the General Officer commanding 3 Division says they will not go unpunished.
We will not rest until we bring all those culpable for these dastardly acts to book. Clearance operations in conjunction with other security agencies would commence immediately as agreed during the Emergency State Security Council meeting chaired by His Excellency last night. Already, the bodies and handsets of some of the miscreants neutralized in the last 48 hours have given us an inkling on how to bring their other cohorts to book.
However, government intervention must be felt by victims of this dark Christmas incident on the Plateau.
The families that have lost their lives, if possible, something should be done to augment the pain of the family. Some of them are breadwinners. Some of them are going to leave children behind who can pay school fees. Some of them have children who are writing WAEC. Some of them have families that they don't know how they will survive henceforth. So government must take proactive action to compensate this family if possible. And another aspect we are not looking at, and that is why this violence continues, is the issue of forgiveness and trauma counseling.
Within the past few months, Plateau has enjoyed relative peace following a series of engagements by the army and the state government. But these attacks came as rude reawakening shock to the state and perhaps the federal government that constantly promised to protect every part of the country and ensure citizens are safe wherever they may be. With calls coming from different quarters, coming days will be crucial in showing whether the major state actors will swim through this challenge or allow the sinking of what is left of its credibility. Chizoba Anoniwe, reporting for News Central.
Well, to discuss this, we're joined by Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Jide. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Good morning.
All right. I know we're talking about the Plateau State killings, but before we go into that, being a public affairs analyst, I'd like you to react to the sudden passing of the former Speaker of the Fourth Republic, the House of Representatives, talking about Ghali Umar Na'Abba.
My condolences and my heart goes to his family. He has played his own role. He lived up to for 65 years, even though news reporters said that he's been battling with an undisclosed ailment, which has even led to his hospitalization abroad. So I think it's quite painful, but again, the will of Allah always prevails. He's played his own part. He was Speaker between 1999, after the removal of Salisu Buhari over his forgery of academic credentials. He served out from 1999 to 2003. And he's, from that time to date, he's been in politics, as a member of the People's Democratic Party, and has also been contributing to national discourse. He's a very forthright man, very outspoken, very honest and very, very, he's someone that doesn't mind words. He's called, he does not mind who sucks his God. And may Allah forgive him his sins and grant him a freedom.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. But let's go straight into the other conversation, which is the current state of insecurity there in the Plateau. What are the underlying historical and possibly contemporary factors that you think are contributing to the recurring religious and ethnic tensions in Plateau State, Nigeria?
You just mentioned the two factors, religious and ethnic sentiments. I think it's more of issues around indigenous settler animosity, issues around farmers and others, issues around Christians and Muslims, issues around foreigners and locals, issues around inequitable distribution of resources, whether you talk of natural resources or you talk about financial resources. I think the perpetrators are not seemingly invincible. It's just that the political will has not been there to track and bring the mindless ROS and masterminds of this heinous crime to book. You ask yourself, at least if my memory serves me right, this Plateau crisis has been on for over 22 years. I recall the very bloody one of 2001. This is 2023 ending. Why do we still have this kind of bloodletting? All manner of peace moves, peace accord has been tried to no avail. But like I said, the whole remote and immediate causes can be found in inequitable distribution of resources, animosities around people of different faiths, animosities around people of different tribes and religion, and as we said, the issue around elders and farmers, the pastoralists and the people who are engaged in animal husbandry. These are part of the rationale. And if I may hazard guesses as to what needs to be done, we need to bring back local government system in Nigeria. This whole crisis could have been tamed if you have a robust local government administration. The locals know who the foreigners are. They know who are not members of their community. But unfortunately, the local government administration in Nigeria has been rendered comatose to the extent that they lack power to do anything. They have no resources, even where they exist. In many other states, they just dissolve them and appoint caretaker committees. The joint state local government account is managed by the governor at the expense of the local government administration. And this has been very counterproductive. The other thing I need to flag is issues around having the local police, the state police that has been on the table for a very long time. My brother, if you recall, when similar thing was happening in the Southwest under Buhari administration, I recall that Aketi, that's Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, as the chairman of Southern Governors Forum, actually called for the establishment of local security outfits. And that's what led to the birth of Amotekun. Even when Malami SAN, Bwaka Malami, the immediate past Minister of Justice and Attorney General, when he kicked against this, the formation of Amotekun, and he said, "Oh, this is unconstitutional, it's illegal, it's this and that." Akeredolu led the protest to President Buhari and said, "Look, you are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You cannot continue to witness bloodletting over issues around, elders, farmers, indigenous settlers. And you think that we as governors, as protector of constitution, Section 14 sub 2B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that security and welfare of citizens shall be the purpose of government. So in Plateau, for instance, is there security, is there welfare? In Nigeria today, is there security, is there welfare? 150 lives, in one fell swoop overnight, when they were just preparing to have their own Christmas festivity. Given the fact that Plateau is majorly a Christian state, and their lives were cut short. And how do you forestall a reprisal? How do you forestall a reprisal where 150 lives were snuffed out and no arrest made, no prosecution? Both the past and the present culprits, some of them who have been arrested, are usually left off the hook after a while because of the powers that be, who are actually the sponsors of this heinous crime. So what needs to be done, among several other things, is local government reform, to have a more robust local government system where there will be, in the First Republic, in fact, in case many of our viewers don't know, in the First Republic, we have LA police, we have local authority police, apart from the Western Region police, apart from the federal police. So why can't we revive LA police, local government police, that will collaborate with the state police, with the federal police, to forestall and to forestall this kind of crime, and where it happens, the perpetrators are fished out and punished. The fact that the culture of impunity has been there over a long period of time, that's why you see this as a recurring decimal. Because if from 2001, you have had the masterminds, the sponsors, the barons, the merchants who send these aliens on errand, if you have had them being fished out, punished, if they are serving jail terms and all of that, and they are well publicized, I'm sure that whoever wants to embark on this kind of crime will think twice, because even criminals themselves don't want to die. But situations where over 20 years this has been going on, yet we cannot call out names of people who have been successfully prosecuted, who are serving jail terms. All we hear from the president, from the governor, from the military is that this will be the last time it will happen. They have put structures in place and it will never happen again. But it keeps happening and nothing is done. It's very unfortunate, very heartrending.
All right. Thank you so much, Jide, for joining us. Although I would like us to continue this conversation, but because of time, there are rumors, there are rumors that the former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, is in a very critical condition. We just want to know if you've heard anything from your end.
No, not at all.
Okay.
As at this morning, I haven't. But we pray he recovers from his ailments. Very unfortunate.
All right.
That he has to be away for his surgery for a long time.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Let's move on now. Several businesses, especially business owners in Nigeria's informal sector, notable for high sales volume and patronage during the festive season, say business has been very poor this Christmas season. Some of them, notably beauty salon owners, clothes sellers and entertainment outlets, say their businesses have witnessed low patronage during this time. Marvelous Ogbomanu tells us more.
When we run from our country, go any other one, we'll die here.
Going to salons to make hair, changing one's wardrobe and taking family and loved ones to entertainment spots usually receive high patronage during festive seasons. While in the past, beauty salons and tailoring shops receive high patronage from customers, entertainment centers usually make a kill as fun lovers troop out en masse to relax and have a good time. However, some of them say that this festive season has been different from many in the nation's informal sector.
Last year is far better than this year, though, because last year, although I worked even both at night, I worked from morning till 3 o'clock. So I declared last year is better than this year. It's not easy at all this year. I was even surprised seeing 2 or 3 people they close to the Christmas day because we don't see customer early of this December or like normal the way we used to be last year and the way things used to work in our line of work. This year is very dry for us because of the economy, I think.
Actually, we're supposed to be going forward ever, but in this case, I think it's the reverse because I would still say last year is far better than this year compared to the level of this cash, the traveling and all that. By this time last year, I don't think the people that were in Pape, to be precise, were this much. People traveled a lot.
This year is different because there are many increments for the market. You understand? Yes. Maybe last year you bought something that used to buy 1,500. This year is almost 2,500.
Some of them say current policies have made it difficult for citizens to spend extra, thus affecting them and their businesses.
I think the increase of fuel affect us this year. This year is bad than last year.
We are not producing anything. We are always import. That is the problem.
A chart with a few who still came out despite the hardship being witnessed say early savings helped them to pull through.
Someone working from January to December, at least you just need to look different. Not like there's something more okay, let's say there's something more serious because it's Christmas, Christians celebrate Jesus Christ, so we need to make it look more touched and the rest of it.
As Nigerians now, we even have this small savior, we'll be keeping this particular amount for Christmas. So even with the economy and the cash scarcity, we've been making savings. So we've been preparing ahead of this Christmas.
Many are hoping the informal sector in the country will rebound in the new year. They say they are confident that businesses will fare better in 2024. Marvelous Obomanu, reporting for News Central.
2023 in retrospect there. Well, the resilience of the people in the northeast Nigeria has continued to spring hope in the recovery and stabilization drive of the region. In 2023, Borno State, the once epicenter of Boko Haram terrorist activities in other states in the northeast Nigeria, witnessed a year of substantial progress and hope as the region aims to rebuild its infrastructure, communities and economy after years of devastation caused by insurgency. The reopening of NYSC orientation camp after 12 years, among other historical events, defined 2023. Umaru Kirawa takes us on a journey of this effort through the year ending 2023.
This is Ngamdu Central Market in Maiduguri, Borno State capital, and its usual night hustle and bustle as businesses picks up after years of fear of insurgency. Communities in the hinterland like Gbio, Gajiganna, the famous Baga in Kuka local government, known for massive production of fish among others, is now relatively peaceful. These communities and their terrains some 10 years ago were very difficult for the common man to traverse.
Alhamdulillah,
The year 2023 marked an important turning point in Borno State, albeit the Northeast fight against insurgency, as the consistent efforts of the Nigerian military resulted in major victories against terrorist groups.
We have made a lot of progress and improvement, but we still need a lot more things to do so that we have a general framework that will look at issues from all ramifications.
Local communities are now actively involved in the rebuilding process, lending a hand in reshaping their neighborhoods and regaining a sense of stability.
People have been enslaved. People that used to go to their farmland, but look at them now, they are all brought together. They have to stay under one umbrella and wait for some organization to come and assist them first.
Within the year, lack of adequate rainfall linked to climate change was experienced as farmers and residents battle with rising prices of foodstuff and other necessities amidst the Central Bank of Nigeria's cashless policy situation.
The price of goods in the markets continue to increase day by day, and it's not very funny to the populace, and people are suffering.
Fire disasters attempted to cause a setback to the recovery efforts of the people and government. The raise of Monday market in Maiduguri in the early month of 2023 and its subsequent reconstruction remains an unforgettable memory to many. The fire outbreaks at ABU Central Market, Gubio, as well as displaced persons camps, particularly the Muna IDPs camp, added to the list.
We have had several challenges over the years. So I think given all that we have experienced, we're not doing too badly, but we can do better.
Even though Borno State government have provided vehicles to transport farmers to their farms, the selected mother of farmers in the renowned rice-producing community, including Zabarmari and Goza areas, have also raised concerns in the year 2023.
The rate of killing is at geometrical level. And for your information, they are doing this thing to scare farmers away so that they cannot go back and take their farm produce.
During the year 2023, the state government, among others, completed the construction of two-story mega-sized primary school with 30 classrooms. And the State Universal Basic Education Board have in 2023 recruited 4,000 teachers for public primary and secondary schools.
The global economic meltdown and the subsidy removal had caused inflation, leading to a significant increase in the cost of project execution. Nonetheless, our performance is bound to increase before the fiscal year runs out at the end of December 2023.
The city of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, and most communities in the northeast witnessed a resurgence in cultural festivals that celebrated the diversity of northeast Nigeria. These festivals not only attracted domestic and other visitors, but also showcased the strength and resilience of Borno people.
Peace has returned to Maiduguri, Borno, and neighboring local government, including states.
Borno State is a home of peace. Borno State has given the Igbos what they deserve, and that is why we are here today celebrating it.
Chief of Army Staff Conference 2023 was also a milestone activity that capped up the year for the people in the northeast and Nigeria as a whole.
Nigeria will give our happiness back, reward us with joy, and our children and grandchildren will take the fruits from the seed that you are sowing. Those who attempt to break our society will not succeed. We are going to become industrious again.
The year 2023 to the people of the Northeast might have flipped with many good memories of improved security, closing down of displaced persons camp, and resettlement of communities. The struggle to survive the economic realities is the major challenge of the people, which they hope government and the private sector will help them overcome as 2024 beacons. Umaru Kirawa, reporting for News Central TV, Maiduguri.
Well, coming up next, civil society organizations in DR Congo call for polls cancellation. We'll bring you more on this when we return. News Central now continues in Central Africa, where representatives of a dozen civil society organizations and other presidential candidates in the Democratic Republic of Congo demand that the elections be annulled. They made this known at a press conference in Kinshasa. According to Mino Bopomi, coordinator of the Filimbi Citizens Movement, the December 2023 elections must be cancelled in view of the serious irregularities.
Les élections du 20 décembre 2023 doivent être annulées. Au vu de graves irrégularités, la Commission électorale nationale indépendante a rajouté au moins 5 jours de vote supplémentaires en violation intentionnelle de l'article 52 de la loi électorale dans l'objectif de favoriser une fraude généralisée en profitant de la nuit pour bourrer les urnes en faveur d'un candidat à l'élection présidentielle. Nous annonçons le lancement officiel des mobilisations citoyennes pacifiques avec le peuple à travers tous les pays.
Nous rejetons ces résultats parce que issus d'un processus de fraude tellement organisé que c'est un mépris pour l'expression du peuple souverain. Raison pour laquelle, en cohérence avec ce que nous avons émis comme position, nous nous joignons à l'initiative de ces jours.
Let's take a look at World Wrap. At least 7 people have died after Christmas storms pounded Australia's eastern seaboard on Wednesday, including 2 women who were washed through a storm water drain. Authorities say the 3 women were exploring a large storm water drain in the rural Queensland town of Guinea when they were swept away by flood waters. Thunderstorms and destructive winds have in recent days battered the Australian states of Victoria and Queensland, capsizing boats, sparking flash floods and tearing down concrete power lines. In the meantime, the Government Weather Bureau have warned that coastal regions in Queensland were still at risk of dangerous storms, life-threatening floods, giant hail and damaging winds.
The wind speed is up to Category 2 cyclone, so it's pretty serious.
There's still potentially going to be some quite strong, severe thunderstorm activity around southeast Queensland over the next day or so.
All right, let's take you through what we have for you on business this morning, and Lekon Obanjo tells us more.
On business, 13 states in Nigeria are planning to borrow or get aid assistance of 2.31 trillion naira in 2024 to fund their budget deficits. A breakdown of their 2024 proposed budget has shown. This will increase the state's debt profile to at least 4.73 trillion naira. As of the end of September 2023, the domestic debts of the states amounted to 2.61 trillion naira, according to data from the Debt Management Office. The external debt profile of the state has not yet been published, hence it was not added. In reaction to this, the Nigerian Labour Congress said in an interview that the state's rising debt profile was worrisome. The Workers' Union lamented that many states were mortgaging the future for the present. But I'll tell you that the African Development Bank Group and the Debt Management Office have revealed that they are seeking to tackle Nigeria and the African continent's debt challenges through the formation of a debt managers network. Debt sustainability has reached critical levels in several African countries due to increasing public expenditure pressures on debt accumulation. According to the African Development Outlook, 23 African countries reached a high risk of debt distress. That's about 16 at high risk and 7 already in distress. Of the 9 low-income countries in debt distress globally, 8 were in Africa. At the same time, of the 27 LICs at high risk of debt distress globally, 13 were in Africa, and of the 26 low-income countries at moderate risk of debt distress globally, 17 were in Africa, the outlook indicated. The Nigerian Exchange Limited closed negatively in the years preceding the elections of 2015 and 2019, but bucked the trend last year, posting a 19.98% return. It has sustained this trend this year despite this uncertainty that trailed the 2023 general elections. On the first day of trading after the February 25 presidential election, the market hit 30 trillion naira capitalization, a milestone which analysts said reflected local investors' optimism about the policies of the winner of the presidential election. Even after the elections, the market remained bullish, showing that inflation was good for it because it was the only place where positive real returns could be achieved when taking into account potential holding period returns. And that's all on business news.
All the way from business, let's take you to the world of sports, where Favor Itwa is on standby.
In sport, Guinea have kept faith with captain Navigator and fellow veteran Isiaga Sila, as well as handing teenage striker Fascinet Conte first call-up to their 25-man squad for next month's African Cup of Nations finals in Ivory Coast. Coach Kaba Diwara named Keita in the squad despite the fact the 28-year-old midfielder has struggled for game time at Werder Bremen this season after his move from Liverpool, while Ligon veteran Sila has battled with injury. The squad is headlined by VfB Stuttgart's Serhou Guirassy, whose 17 Bundesliga goals put him behind only Harry Kane in the German league's scoring charts. The 18-year-old Conte was called up after scoring 5 goals in France's Ligue 2 for Bastia this season, while 33-year-old Jose Martinez Kante is recalled. He scored for Japan's Urawa Red Diamonds in last week's Club World Cup. Guinea opened their Group C campaign at the finals against Cameroon in Yamoussoukro on January 15th.